Hey guys, welcome to Carnivorous Plants Hub. Today I am going to be repotting a more of a mature Nepenthes plant. I have conflicting information on this Nepenthes. It could be one of 3 different types of Nepenthes, so we'll go with whatever you think. But I think I'm leaning toward it's probably a Nepenthes alata. It could be a Nepenthes alata, it could be a Nepenthes ventricosa. Or it could be a Nepenthes Ventrata, which is basically a mix of the ventricosa and alata. So these are kind of hard to label sometimes. I have another one that's a Nepenthes Ventrata that looks a lot like this, but I just did some research and it does look a lot like the Nepenthes alata and the Nepenthes ventricosa. So honestly, I don't really care. The care for all 3 of those plants is virtually the same. They're pretty hardy plants and they do really well. So the difference that I need to take care of in terms of repotting these and their substrate, the amount of humidity that they need, the amount of water, distilled water that they need, all that is about the same. So there's not a big difference there. So it really doesn't matter what it's called. What matters is that you're taking care of them. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to repot this one. As you can see, this is actually, if you look here, I don't know if you can see this, but there's actually 2 stems. So I think there's going to be 2 different pots or 2 different plants in here of the Nepenthes. So I'm going to actually pot 2 different plants. And what I'm going to do is, there's been a lot of debate sort of in my comments a little bit and throughout the community on whether or not it's better to put these guys in this stuff here, this long fiber sphagnum moss, or whether it's better to put it in this over here, which is a mix of peat, perlite, and silica sand. So I'm actually going to plant one of each in each type of substrate. One little footnote with that is I don't have enough of this long fiber sphagnum moss to fill up the other pot, so I did have to put a little bit of that mix, the peat and perlite and silica sand mix, in the bottom of that one just to make sure that it has enough in there. So it's going to be mostly in this. I'm going to wrap it in this, and then I'm going to put it on top of a little layer of this in a different pot. This pot's going to be just this mix, but I have another pot on the floor over there that's going to have a mix of this. This is going to have the plant wrapped in, and then it's going to be the perlite, silica sand, and peat moss mix on the bottom. So and then it's just kind of a little experiment, just kind of for fun. Everybody tells me I have to plant it in long fiber sphagnum moss, but just being completely honest with you, I have a Nepenthes plant right now that's very similar to this one that's just doing fabulous inside of this. It's growing really fast, it's growing really strong. My understanding is that these types of Nepenthes are very hardy, and you do not have to put them in long fiber sphagnum moss. It seems to be recommended by most just because that's typical for tropical Nepenthes, but for these type of plants specifically, whether you're looking at an alata, a ventricosa, or a ventrata, you're okay to put it in this mix, and I just wanted to kind of prove that. Now hopefully I don't update you in a couple of months and this one has died, because that would be really embarrassing. But I'll be honest with you, if that happens, I'll share that with you. I'll swallow my pride and say that I was wrong. I want this channel to help people, and if my other plant is a fluke and it actually turns out that this stuff will not do as good as the long fiber sphagnum moss, that's the advice that I'm going to give, and this will be a little experiment just to kind of help out with that. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to cut real quick and get this thing set up and ready to go. Alright guys, so the first thing I got to do here is I got to get this plant out of this pot. Which is going to be kind of tricky, not going to lie. This is more of a mature plant. It's going to be a little bit harder to get out, especially with all these ropes and stuff, since it's a hanging plant. I don't know if there's a way to get these off here. I don't think, oh yeah, there is. These actually do detach, so that'll make it a little easier. There we go. I didn't know that. See, I'm learning stuff already. You're learning, I'm learning, we're all learning together. Boom, okay. That's going to make this a lot easier. So okay, actually was helping support that a little bit, so I can feel that fell down a little. So let's go ahead and lay this on its side here. You guys can see that, right? I'm not blocking too much of it. Okay, I'm going to squeeze this. Can't see that. I'm squeezing the pot so that I can get this out of its current substrate. And I can pull it out of there. I know I'm blocking the camera. Hold on. There's what it was in. It looks like maybe like a coconut husk mix or something. It's still wet and moist in there, so I've been keeping it nice and wet. But let's see. I'm gonna turn turn this around for you guys just a little. It's really difficult to kind of move this around because of the pictures here. Let's see here. There we go. Let's peel this off of here, and then I suspect what's going to happen. Let me move this leaf here so you can see. I'm not going to be able to. I think we're going to be able to pull this apart into two different plants. Let's see here. I know typically these plants don't have like a really big root system. You can see already that there's just not much going on here. Let's see if I can show you guys this a little bit better. See, there's one here and then one here. They seem to be connected pretty good. And I don't know if that's just the substrate that's, oh wait, here we go. You see, oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. It was just kind of, they were just kind of packed in there a little bit. There we go. Now we're separated and we're becoming two, and this is going to be tricky. Needed another pair of hands. I should have had my wife help me with this one. That's all right. All right. I think we're really close. There we go. Boom. Look at that. Oh, this cup is all twisted up. I'm gonna pull that down there. There we go. There's one right there. Beautiful. Oh shit, I can't even see that. I'm sorry, guys. There's one right here. Okay, so I'm gonna put this down like that. Someone looks like it's a little bit smaller. Don't want that to fall off. Okay, and then here is this one. That one there. Let's get this one all untangled, and there we go. Oh, this one's definitely a little bit bigger. There's a really nice new picture right there. That one's really nice. There we go. So now here's the other one. There we go. So we got our two plants. So one right here. And one right here. Okay. So I'm going to cut real quick. I'm going to clean off this table, and then we're going to get to replanting. Okay guys, I'm back. So I'm taking my plant now. This is the bigger one. So I'm going to actually plant this one into the bigger pot, which is going to be the peat, perlite, and silica sand mix. So what I'm going to do real quick before I do that is I'm going to actually dip the roots in some distilled water. Just kind of give them a little cleaning, make sure we get all the kind of nasty stuff off them from whatever was at Home Depot. So we'll just give them kind of a little bath here, and also give the roots some direct contact with some nice distilled water too, which is kind of nice. So I'm not going to get all of that original substrate off. I'm a firm believer, and you should leave a little bit of its original in there just so it's not a complete shock to its system. So I'm going to leave a little bit on there, and then I'm going to move this out of the way so that I can move the pot over so you guys can see this. Okay, so here's my pot. Okay, so usually I wet this down first. I didn't this time. I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt for not wetting it down, but at least for these it's not as bad because you don't need as deep of a hole. Because you can see how small that root system is. I mean, look at that. There's hardly any roots there. So really you just need a little tiny hole here. Just want to bury it just about up to that rhizome. Okay guys, let's let this be a lesson to everybody. I'm going to actually pull this out real quick here because this is not working. Okay, and this is going to be a lesson. I'm going to put this over here real quick. I'm going to dump some distilled water in here. Ooh, got a little spider friend in there. You guys see it? Let's see. See him? Too close. That's kind of cool. Uh-oh. Not sure what kind of spider that is. I'm definitely not a... Okay guys, take 17. Sorry about that. One thing I have found with this repotting plants on YouTube thing is that nothing ever really goes as planned. And yeah, so let's add a little bit of... This is going to make this so much easier, guys. There we go. Let's get that water in there a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now we should be able to, let's move this around a little bit. Now we should be able to get a nice legitimate hole here. There, look at there. See, now the hole stays so that I have time to get my roots down in there. And now when I pack this down around the plant, that's actually going to stay in place. That's why I did that. And that's what I should have done at first anyway. This is going to work a lot better now, guys, I promise. Okay, get that plant down in there. There we go, guys. That's a little bit better. So I'm gonna have to get something to probably support this just a little bit so that it continues to grow up. That's something I don't have right at this moment, but I'll probably get like a little little stake or something to put in there, because you can see it's leaning a little bit. I can't really get it to completely stay upright, especially when I lift it up and see when the plant pulls it down. Kind of see there that it's leaning just a little bit. So I'm gonna have to get something to stake that up. Of those leaves, which is just fine. That's a pretty normal thing. So yeah, we'll get a stake, and I want it to be about right there. So I'm gonna get a stake. I'm gonna get a stake to go to about here so that it doesn't lean too much. It's actually starting to stay a little bit, mostly because some of the cups are here and some of the cups are on that side now. So yeah, there we go. See my leg in it too. So there we go. So that one's planted. The perlite and peat is planted here. So now we just got to get the one planted in the long fiber sphagnum moss. Let's get that one ready. Okay, so the way we do this is we actually take this here, okay, and then we are going to put, scoot this over just a little bit, guys. Sorry. And then we're going to start wrapping this around the roots. And we're going to hopefully get enough here to where we can put it in there pretty good. You can see I don't have a ton. It's probably not going to be quite enough. We'll have to fill in some of the sides with a little more peat mix, which is just fine. But let's go ahead and start wrapping this guy up here. Actually, real quick before we do that, let's give him the little dip first. Get some of this old dirt off. Nice little bath here. So you can just kind of dip it a little bit and it gets most of it off. There we go. Perfect. Okay. Get this out of the way again. Okay, now let's start wrapping this guy up, huh? Some of this. Just want to try to make sure and get it wrapped up fairly even on both sides here. This is actually a lot harder to do than putting it into the peat mix. Wrap that up. And this is going to be tricky because I should have had a little more of this long fiber sphagnum moss, because now it's going to be tricky to get it in here and to keep it in place. Okay, let's make sure none of those pictures are in there. And see, I need to put a little more. I think I need to put a little more of the peat in there. Just a second. was I saying about nothing ever going as planned? It's kind of what's happening here, guys. Nothing ever goes as planned. Plants. Plan for the unplannable, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I just wish I had a little more of this long fiber sphagnum for this one, because I'm gonna have to fill it now around. Okay guys, here we go. So it's done now. Yeah, that was interesting. That was fun. I'm gonna have to get a stake for this one too. I had to turn this into more of a hybrid mix rather than just a long fiber sphagnum. And I'm gonna have to get something to hold that up because it's not quite staying up on its own, at least until these roots take grip. But yeah, so there we go. So now we're repotted, and what I'll do, guys, is I'm gonna get these all set up and I'm gonna get them put it in their place. And then I will show you what they look like. All right. Okay guys, there we go. I wanted to just show you one more time after we got the hanging attachment here that actually, I thought we were gonna need a stake, but we really don't need a stake. Once we got the hangers up, you can see the plant actually rests on the hangers, and you can see now we really don't have a need for the stake. So there's that one. Let me grab the other one real quick so I can show you what the other one looks like. We'll get these hung up here soon. We don't have our spot quite ready for them, so we're going to actually hold off on doing the final look, but let's show you the other one. Okay, and there's the other one. There you go. This is the peat moss and lawn sphagnum fiber mix. So it's going to be kind of a hybrid. I had to put in kind of a lot more of the peat, silica sand, and perlite mix than I wanted to, but everything that's touching the plant is actually the long fiber sphagnum moss. So we'll see how this one does. I have a feeling both of them are going to do fine. I don't think the substrate really makes that much of a difference if you're using one of these two. Yeah, once we got these hung though, you can see that is actually really supporting the plant now. So yeah, thanks guys for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Check out my website, carnivousplanthub.com. Anything you do, all of the stuff that I have in the video today is actually in the description, so you can check it out, buy it. Whatever you buy throws me a little kickback and it helps support me a lot, so thank you. This was kind of a pain in the butt, and I apologize if this didn't go as smooth as I had wanted it to, but we're all planted, we're all set up, and we're good to go. Make sure to subscribe so you can see updates on these plants and how they do, and I'll keep you guys informed. So thanks a lot guys for stopping by, and you have a great day.